Hey guys, and welcome back to the 7-Minute Life. I'm your instructor today, Allyson Lewis, and we're going to be looking at one question. Is your business model broken? As a business company, we try to help people with time management and business planning and setting goals. But the 7-Minute Life is very different because we also try to bring in that personal part of business to help people understand their passion and what drives them and their purpose and priorities. And so today we're going to be talking about business planning, but from a little bit different perspective. There's going to be one worksheet that is new that I think is life-altering for businesses, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But let me just start with the outline. Is your business model broken? I think the first thing is for us to understand that the problem isn't necessarily with your business model, it's with your business plan. You know, it's that thing that we do at the end of the year in November or December when we pull up some kind of template and we begin to work through all the pieces of a business plan. And it's just something we dread every day. But when was the last time you pulled out that business plan and looked at the goals and looked at all the targets and metrics that you'd put in there? When did that business plan begin to shape the business you're doing today? And I went to the Small Business Administration, which is where I go, and I do think it's important to create a business plan. I create one every year, and one of the best places to go is the U.S. Small Business Administration. So you just type in Small Business Administration business plan template, and this is what you'll get. You do have to log in and create a password, but this is how you build a business plan. This will help you create a cover page. You can see as a sample cover page the wooden grain toy company and the owner. And then you look at your executive summary, the company description, market research. As we go across the time, number 5 is the product or service lines. Number 6, marketing sales. 7, financial projections. And 8, finish up. This is a great template. And so the problem isn't even with the business template of the plan. The problem is that we don't go back and use those plans to help us grow our business. So there is a real problem. I do believe our business models are broken, and the problem is that we don't go back and use our business plan. As part of this in the outline, we're going to show you how to use the 7-Minute Life business assessment. We're really excited about teaching you some of those things. We're going to share with you when you're doing your business planning how to learn from strategic discussion, how to really think through things. We're going to ask you to look backwards and find out what worked and what didn't work. Obviously, we want to do more of what did work and less of what didn't work. And then we're going to show you our brand new project management worksheet. And this tool is brand new as of the date that I'm recording this. And I think it's going to be really one of the most profound pieces of business project management that we have ever created. So I'm very excited to show you that toward the end of this video. And then we're going to talk about the importance of coaching. You know, planning for business is really great. Creating a plan is wonderful. Assessing it, creating that strategic discussion. But until you can implement these things, project management really is still a model that's broken. So we're going to go through all of these things. And we're going to start with the problem of a business plan. I think regardless of what kind of business plan template you use, the biggest problem is that you're sitting there in December of the year before trying to plan for the next year. And most business plans have been geared to start on January 1st and end on December 31st. So you're sitting on point A, and by some abstract date of December 31st or the end of your fiscal year, you want to end up at point B. I don't think that's, in fact, I know it's not achievable. You can't go from point A to point B. So at the 7-Minute Life, we talk about having a business plan that takes you from a start to finish, but not from point A to point B, rather from point A to point Z. A business plan really shouldn't just have goals. It should have the milestones and steps of how to get there. So point A to point Z is the goal setting. But what we're going to be looking at is more the project management of moving from A to B, B to C, C to D, so that you can accomplish those longer term goals, whether it's 1 year, 5 year, 10 year, or a lifetime. The first thing I'm going to ask you to look at is a tool that we call the business assessment. And this is a simple PDF, and I'm going to switch over to that. And this PDF is something that I think is a beginning point for anyone that is looking to really assess where they are, because how can you know where you need to be in the future unless you know where you are today? So this actually happens before the business plan, and this is a fillable form, and you can download it from our website, or you can access it through the handout, and the link should be below this video. So the first thing that we're going to ask is, do you have a written business plan? And the 7-minute life is based on 90 days because corporate earnings are 90 days, but more importantly, because nature functions in 90 days. There's summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, and things go around. So every quarter we work on our business assessment. And because this is fillable, you can look and you say, well, no, I really need improvement on my business plan for the next 90 days, or maybe it just needs some work, but definitely it's not workable. And this is where I really want you to focus, is that, have you clarified your goals? Do you have that strategic clarification? That's where the 7-minute life is different. And as Allyson Lewis, as the founder of this, that's what makes business different, and that's what makes us different. When you can clarify your goals to a point that you can see them, taste them, touch them, smell them, where they're right in front of you, and you have a strategic clarification, that aha moment that says, yes, here's what we're going to do, and here's why we're going to do it. I think we have to face business with purpose and drive. I think we have to reinvent that motivation, or really, what difference does having a business plan make? And so most people, that might even need some work, or it might really be at the bottom, but we're just going to say that we have an average level of that. As a time management person, the only way to reach your goals is to have a great deal of activity level, and not just busy work, but moving forward. I think it's important to constantly be learning to improve your skills, having letter writing skills. Well, some people may really need to work on those proposals and contracts, but let's just go on through and say, hey, we need knowledge of all these technologies. How much time do we waste? We need to have a compelling story, distinctive branding. We need to make sure that all of our things that we really need to ensure. And so where are you? Are you average? Do you need some work? What about your public speaking skills? You know, it's one of the things I love to do, but boy, a lot of people really dread it. And even business etiquette, you know, my mom raised me, and if I didn't do the etiquette thing right, but all of those things are important. So where would you rank yourself? And this is a fillable form. Again, it's in the handout, or you can download it from our website at the7minutelife.com/tools. But where do you rank yourself? And would this change over time? And so it's not just business that we're going to be talking about. If you're going to work with the 7-minute life, we are a time management company. We try to help people increase their productivity. And we believe that you have to have a daily written plan of action. Are you using repeatable systems? This is where we want to help you. Is your workspace organized? Do you have a method to prioritize your task? Can you plan for complex tasks and execute them? Boy, this is a tough one. I have a lot of people that we deal with that says, I don't have the ability to start and fully finish a task. What about your life-work balance? Where is that? And do you have enough time to finish your task? So where would you fall on these scales? You know, what would your own assessment look like? And then even on a personal assessment, what's the point of having a great business if we don't have that passion and purpose? Have you had a chance to define your values? Do you have personal goals? Do you have a clear vision? What about your listening skills, emotional intelligence? What about your health? Is it excellent, or does it really need improving? What about exercising or your weight? You know, that's where I was. I've lost about 20, 25 pounds, and I'm really working on it. Boy, but sleep, oh, it's just awful. I really need to improve my stress level. I have good relationships, and my faith is really important to me. But does it need improvement? Sure, it needs improvement. But where would you fall on all these scales? You know, what would it look like for you? This is a live tool. It's called the Business Assessment. And underneath it, you can read, assessments provide a framework to learn more about yourself You'll find you have natural aptitudes for many areas of your work and your life. Typically, these are the areas you find most meaningful in life. You may also find some areas that need improvement. And once you've completed the assessment, you can make a conscious decision for how you're going to spend your time and even how you're going to build your business model. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint program. And this is an image of the paper version, but the PDF is live, and you can use it and score yourself and basically rank where you are and decide the things that you want to improve and the things you're comfortable with that you've done well. As I go on through this, the business model may be important, but what we really want you to do is prioritize, organize, and simplify your life, both at work and at home. So you can see that we have this prioritize where that's one dot is in the middle, but all these other dots are all around. That's why business planning is so hard, because just like this, you try to prioritize your business plan, but then all of a sudden you're in this swirl of chaos and you don't even know what's most important. In this class and in all of the classes and videos that you'll be watching, we're going to try to help you organize all of that chaos into a method or a plan that will make your life simpler and less cluttered. And then we're going to finally simplify that down to just a few tools that you can use over and over again to prioritize, organize, and simplify your life. That's what people want from us, is they want order. All right, so this is where it goes into the business planning and the models and how they work. And I'm going to go ahead and begin to annotate on these pages. So let me give you an example of what someone's business plan might look like. And so here is the 90-day business plan. I am writing on a tablet, so give me grace on how this looks. It's not easy to write on a tablet. Okay, so people come in and they have a business plan, and this may be a 1 year or it may be 90 days like this one. But this is what we see on the business plan. The executives or the people, the entrepreneurs, whoever it is that get together, they say, okay, here's goal number 1, goal number 2, goal number 3, and maybe goal number 4. This is what we want to accomplish in the next, get back on there, in the next 90 days or in the next year. We want to accomplish all of these things. And so let's just say that you're a writer and that you are Allyson Lewis and work for the 7-Minute Life. So goal number 1 is that we want to increase our market share by, let's say, 15%, which means that our traffic on our website goes up. We have, 15% increase in views on our website. So all of those kind of things go up. And I think that's great. Please feel free to tell your friends, because the more market penetration we have, the more that we are seen as the top expert in time management, which is, I think, really important. We want to be known as those things. So that is a goal. And the second goal is that we want to increase the amount of keynote speeches. I had a really great opportunity last year. My book became the #1 bestseller in Taiwan, which was just ecstatic. So I had an opportunity to fly to Taiwan and have a chance to do these keynote speeches. Well, we want the number of keynote speeches to increase. And I think that's great. Well, and I love teaching keynote speeches, whether it's, for 100 people at an association or 2,000, or it just is really fun getting to share a message. Another thing that is a goal for us is that I want to increase our coaching. I want to have more one-on-one events. I really have enjoyed building relationships and helping people improve their time management and rediscover their purpose in life. And so I want to increase the number of clients that I have for coaching. And the other things that we might want to do, I want to increase my writing. I want to increase media and become an expert for media. All those kind of things might be in my business plan. But as you look at this, what do you see? What are the problems with that? The problems are how. It's not the what, but the how. How do you make this happen? How do I increase traffic by 15%? How do I increase more keynotes? How do I attract more coaching classes? what am I going to write, and who am I going to look to try to find media, and how am I going to become seen as a top expert? It's great. At this point, our videos have been seen by 142,000. And by the time you watch this, I hope it's huge. That's just on one channel. On the other channel, it's about 28,000 views. That's how you become an expert. But we want to increase that. We want to make that higher and higher by being more valid. So the business model we think is broken because you can have all the goals that you want. You can have all the goals that you want. I got to make sure my pen is turned on here. But if you don't know how to accomplish them, that's when your model is broken. And that's what we're going to be talking about. I think that what makes the 7-minute life different is that we don't just tell you what. I mean, you already know that you need goals. We don't just tell you what, but we give you the tools to actually create them, and then we teach you the philosophy of how to make that happen in your life. Very important. And that's why another reason that business models in our mind are broken is that as people create their plans, I wonder who's creating those. Who's saying even what we want to do? Who's creating the goals? Who on your team is deciding your core business? Who's deciding the target market, which is really, really key. You have to know who you're talking to. What differentiates you from your competition? We are different in that we don't just tell people what they need to do. We give them the tools, just like I said before. And then in this video, we're teaching you how to do those things. Even that is not the biggest differentiator. The thing that makes the most difference is that we build these business platforms, these business models with purpose, with priorities, helping people live within a sense of values so that they can rediscover that drive and the motivation. That's our niche. That's what makes us different. So what's your compelling story? I just told you our compelling story. What is your crushing offer? I think as we go forward with business models, we can't just rely on plans. We also have to ask people to do business with us. We have to go out there and believe in our product and ask people for their business. And so if you're watching this, I want to ask you for your business. If you're a business, if you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, just like you need to go out with a crushing offer and say, I can help you. I want to have a plan that asks people for their business. How should we focus our attention? What other skills do you need? What knowledge do you need? All of these things. What is the purpose of your business? Even as we go on down here, when we're having strategic discussion, this should take place before you begin to create your business plan. What worked? What didn't work? What are we going to change? What should we do more of? What should we do less of? I can tell you one of the things that didn't work for us last year is that in our book, go back, sorry, my pen didn't grab hold. I have to go down here. I'm working with a tablet that I think is really helpful. But one of the things that didn't work is that we spent a lot of our time last year planning. We had a lot of staff meetings, and we created all these new products and all these new services. And we talked about how wonderful they were going to be and how much it was going to make our market share go up. But all we did was plan. We didn't do anything to execute. And I think that's another reason that plans don't work. I think that having these things are sometimes easier. It's easier to plan for them to actually take action. It's harder to do things or to take the action to make these things happen. And so what worked for us is when we began to take those plans and take action on them. That's where it all begins. And so this is the page. This is that page, that single page that I said could really revolutionize how people plan for their business. And if the business model, the business plan is broken, this may be a way that you can fix it. This is the project management worksheet. If you're watching this years later, this was created last night. I created it for this webinar, for this video, for this class. Because here's what I think is different. We have business plans where we have ideas and we create, I don't know, measurements of where we want to be. And we have all these things in a business plan. Unfortunately, all it is a plan. And the other thing is it may be over 12 months, or it may be something as far as 5 years from now. We may want to accomplish something 5 years out, and who even knows what the business landscape is going to be. So what would happen if you had that business plan in mind, but you began to create documents where you could take action? That's what this is. This is a project management worksheet that's going to allow you to take action on the things that you put into your plan. That's why the model of a business plan needs to be translated into projects that can be completed. Let me just give you an example of what I mean. When you walk into the office, you should already have a written plan of action. That's one of the tenets that we talk about, a written daily plan of action. That is on our daily progress report, and you can watch another video to find out more about that. But what would happen if you took 7 minutes in the evening to create a daily written plan of action, and in the morning to take that other 7 minutes, we'll talk about that more a little bit, to fill out this worksheet, the one that's right here, to fill out this worksheet. So you have your ideas of what you want to create, and then you come in the morning, you say, okay, here are the things that I want to do. And you create a to-do list. Now, you know that I think to-do lists are dangerous, and so here's why. So you come in and you have task number 1, and let's say the first thing that you want to do, well, in this example, the first thing that I wanted to do is that I wanted to get ready for today's webinar, which is now this video that you're watching. So I want to prepare for the webinar, and in order to do that, I know I have to create the PowerPoint, and then I have to create the handouts, and then I have to create all the links and all the web pages and all those things. Well, that looks like a pretty good to-do list for something that when I come in, okay, I say, yep, today is, and I also date everything. So I'm going to date this as August the 15th. No, today's the 16th. And I'm going to put blank, blank, blank on the date, so this won't date as forever long. But always put a date on it so you can come back to these worksheets and see when you were working on it. And so this might be a to-do list. And then also on the to-do list, I might need to write a thank you note. I love to write thank you notes. And I also need to check on a file for a meeting that I have coming up for a meeting. All right, so now I've created my to-do list. And then you have to rank them. So getting the webinar done was the number 1 thing. And some of these things are projects underneath it. So the number 2 thing that I need to do is the PowerPoint, and then I need to check the links, and then I've got a hard stop to get this file ready for the meeting. I'm going to come back and create the handout, and then if I have time, I'm going to write the thank you note. One of the things that you'll learn from the 7-Minute Life, and we are going over this again and again and again, is that a to-do list has been intended to create a list of things you can actually do. So I look at this list if I were coming in and I'd say, can I prepare for a webinar and do that? The answer is no, I can't just do that. Here's where we create the difference. Something that you can do has to fall within what we call your attentional bandwidth. And you've been with the 7-Minute Life for a long time, it's a great reminder to understand this. Attentional bandwidth, many people say that's 7 minutes. I would say for me, it's more like 7 seconds. If you don't know me, part of the reason that I created all of this is I actually am diagnosed with attention deficit disorder. At this point in my life, I'm taking medication for it, and I see professionals. If this is something that you struggle with, I absolutely would encourage you to seek help to find out what is going on. I think even if people don't have attention deficit disorder, that crushing, overwhelming feeling of just not getting everything done is something that is really hard. Okay, back to the attentional bandwidth. The attentional bandwidth is really, from research, somewhere between 2 seconds and 20 minutes. And I think we've all felt that, where it's just 2 seconds, you put something down on your desk, you walk about halfway out the door, and you can't remember why you were walking out the door. But if something is going to take longer than 20 minutes, it is not something you can do. It is actually a project. Anything that's going to take longer than 20 minutes is not something you can do. It is actually a project that must be broken down into steps that can be done. A to-do list is to be created with some things that can be done. These are things that you can actually do. Unfortunately, what most people, just like this is not a to-do list. This is actually a project list. There is only 1 or 2 things that I can do. This one I can do. I can actually check the file pretty quickly, and I can definitely write the thank you note quickly, and I can actually create the links for the website in this. But how long is the webinar going to take? Well, all these other things, it may take 2 or 3 hours. That's not something I can do. That's a project. Even creating the PowerPoint slides, that may take an hour and a half. The handouts, that may only take 20 minutes. But all of these things are not things I can do. They're projects I need to break down. So let's just take the PowerPoint as an example. So here I want to create the PowerPoint. And this is a project that I would have broken down. And in order to create the PowerPoint, obviously I would try to do this days ahead, but last night it is time to do the PowerPoint and get it all finished and wrapped up. So the first thing you have to do is you have to create an outline for yourself and for the class. And then you have to make sure that you have all your images, all of the, in this case, I was going to be using a lot of PDFs to train with, and I wanted to have a conclusion. So I had to create this roadmap to do all that. How long can it take to make an outline? Yep, I can do that in about 5 minutes. The images, it could have pushed past 20 minutes, but I have most of them. To add in the PDFs, yep, 10 minutes, and to create the conclusion. So all of these are things that I can actually take action on. I can do these things, which means if I can do them, I can come in and mark it off my list. I can actually take action and have it done, have it completed. So there's that. How many of these things on your to-do list, let me go back. How many things on your to-do list, if you were to look at it today, would be things that you could actually do? How many of the things on your to-do list could you do in less than 20 minutes? This is one of the critical reasons that people's business plan, all of those plans, they are just goals, that's important. You've got to have goals, but you can't move from A to B. You just can't do that. All that you can do is move from A to Z. And in the project, this is the goal. What we want to help you do is move from A to B, B to C, C to D. These are the projects. Unfortunately, people think they can come in and just mark these projects off their list. They can't. A project has to be further broken down into the little steps that you need to do. So this worksheet, that's what you're going to do, is you're going to list, I'm still learning how to use this pen. That's what you're going to do with this worksheet. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to write down the project. And then you're probably going to create some kind of quick outline that says, here's what I need to do. And you're going to grab the resources of what you have. And you're going to create a list, resources. You're going to create a list of any of the details or the spreadsheets that you might need to do. And you're going to create the spreadsheet, whatever it takes. But these things are going to be things that you can do in less than 20 minutes. That means that you've taken a project which is going to take more than 20 minutes. In many cases, they can take hours, 4 or 5 hours, or they can even take days. And that's why we wonder, why do these things stay on our to-do list forever and ever? Let's just take an example. What if you were creating a marketing budget for next year? We see people that come in to the office and they have this on their to-do list. This is something that's going to take possibly weeks and a lot of collaboration, but it's on somebody's to-do list. That's what makes a business plan difficult. That's what breaks our models. We've got to break projects into smaller projects, until finally they're what we call micro actions, which are things you can do in 20 minutes or less. They are things that you can do. They are actually actions you can take. And an action is something that literally moves you forward from point A to point B, from point B to point C. That's what project management is all about. And then you have project 2, project 3, and it goes forth. Let me go back and talk about why 7 minutes. A lot of people are new, or some of you may just need remembering why 7 minutes. It's, again, it was typically because I felt like I had an attention span of a gnat. And when I say that, G-N-A-T, a gnat, which I would, again, say 7 minutes for me would be stretching it, you know. And so how many interruptions do you have? How many distractions? What is coming into all of this? The whole point of the 7-minute life begins that you need a written, daily plan of action. Yes, you need a business plan. Yes, you need quarterly pieces, but you've got to have a daily written plan of action. And we've created all kinds of tools, just individual worksheet pages where you can use these things to create them. We don't just want to tell you what you need to do, which is create a business plan and create a daily written plan of action. We don't just want to give you the tools, but we also want to give you the philosophy, which is what I'm going to be talking about right now, philosophy for just a second. And then we want to teach you how to do it, which is what we're doing. But why 7 minutes? I think it's important as we begin to wrap up this. There are 24 hours in the day. That is all we have. We have this kind of limited amount of time, and we can't break out of that. But out of that 24 hours, there are 1,440 minutes. What we ask people to do is to take 1% of that time. What would happen if you took 1% of that? That'd be a little over 14 minutes. And you broke that down into 2 7-minute segments. You took it and you broke it into 7 minutes in the evening and 7 minutes in the morning. And you took it to take things and to break them down from a to-do list, from creating this to-do list that you want to accomplish, come on. We're about to wrap up here. So from taking things from a to-do list, which are actually projects that you can't do. They're nothing more than a list, which is great. It's great to have a list, but if it's something you can't do, you can't do it. And so you take these projects and you begin to break them down, and you have project 1, project 2, and possibly even project 3. And you break those down and you have these to-dos, these micro actions that you can start and finish within 20 minutes. Can you imagine if you just got 1 or 2 of these done? Well, that's what all this is about. Your business model, let me just go back to this again. Business models are broken for a lot of reasons. One, not sure that everybody that needs to be in the planning part is in the planning part. It may just be the senior executive, or it may just be you as the entrepreneur, and you're not bringing in all of the other people that can help you plan. The other thing that's broken with business models is that it's a one-time. You do it at the first of the year, you do it once, and then you put it in a drawer. That's not how business works. Business is constantly growing, constantly changing. And there's no ownership, really. You know, when you create some kind of piece of paper, is it anything that is important to how you feel that day, how you felt when you woke up? Were you motivated? Were you not? Were you having trouble with something? Were you stressed? Does a business plan give you any of that? Does a business plan bring you purpose into your life? Does it help you build a better team, or answer questions, or make a difference in the world? I think those are the things that make business plans broken, and I think that's what makes the 7-minute life different. The 7-minute life is about taking 7 minutes to rebuild your life, all aspects of it, to find the purpose and the passion. So why is this important to me? My purpose in life, let me go back. My purpose in life, again, grabbing the pen, was to help people grow, to learn and grow. I want you to be able to take the information and have a better life because of it. And even more than that now, as I've aged it well into my mid-50s, I believe what people are really looking for is they're looking for hope. Business is hard and life can be hard. And I'm not trying to be, all philosophical here, but every day that we have, every 24 hours that we have is all we have. And I want life to be more. I want to have more meaning in life. I want to have more hope. I want to have more belief that I'm making a difference in the world, that life can be fulfilling and significant, and then it can have meaning, not just for me, but for those people around me. And I look at my business plans, and I'm really delighted. I published this book, The 7-Minute Differences, sold over 51,000 copies around the world. The daily planner is being used by, we've sold tens of thousands. I don't know how many tens of thousands, but a lot of people are downloading the sheets. And this book, The 7-Minute Solution, became the #1 bestseller in Taiwan. Those are what business plans can bring into action. But what good would all those books do if they weren't in alignment with my purpose? If I didn't believe that these things were helping make other people's lives better? What good would it be for me to be in business if I didn't believe in those things? I began this class by asking the question, is your business model broken? As a quick recap, we've talked about the problem with business plans is that it's a static, one-time thing, that very often people aren't involved in it, that it's a plan without action. It goes from A to B, not A to B, B to C, C to D. Before we start our business plan, we should really look back and do a business assessment. Do we have a plan? Is it workable? Do we have that compelling vision? Is it clear? Is it driving us forward? Have we even had strategic discussions about what worked and what didn't work, and what's our compelling story, and who should be involved? The key to this class, though, is if your business model is broken, how are you going to fix it? We think you can fix it by using the project management worksheet, by writing things down, by breaking down your to-do list into things you can actually do. But I want to end by talking about the importance of coaching. I hope that you're watching all the videos out here. We have a ton of videos, and thousands and thousands and thousands of people are watching them. And this tool alone can be life-altering for businesses. What if you just used it? That'd be amazing. What if your team began to use it? That'd be even bigger. What if your company began to use it? Once we begin to use repeatable processes and systems, and we use them over and over again, can you imagine what it would mean to you or to your company to have a list like that move from projects to being done? It's about moving forward. It's not just about moving from A to Z. It's about moving forward to life. And that's why I think people are coming to the 7-Minute Life, is not because they just want another tool, but they really want hope. They want to have someone as a sounding board. They're looking for a coach. And if that's you and you want to go deeper into this, now again, this was created. You'll have to look at the video date. At this point, my current pricing for executive coaching is $400 an hour. I do think people want more. I'm excited and delighted to give you these tools. They're all free on our website. You can use them. We have a ton of free training like this. But if you're that person that really wants more, that wants to take a tool and bring it to life, that wants to take a tool to change life, then my current pricing is $400 an hour. I would love to work one-on-one with you. I believe that's my purpose. That's my mission. It's about sharing hope with people. I have ADD, but there's one thing I haven't shared yet. You may have heard it on another video, but I've also suffered with anxiety and depression. And I share that in these videos because I want to bring awareness to mental illness in the workplace. I worked for 30 years as a financial advisor, built a very successful practice with a major New York brokerage firm. And even in all that success, I still struggled every day with ADD. And as it progressed, I had a battle with depression, and it came and went and came and went, but it's something that I am very passionate about, is helping people understand that business is way more than business. Businesses are built to provide products and services with people to make their lives better. Business is important, but life is also important. And so if you face any of these things in life, or you just want your life to be better in a lot of ways, then I hope you'll call me, that you'll reach out and you'll email me at info@the7minutelife.com, and you'll say, yeah, Allyson, I'm not just depressed. I'm not all that stuff, but I want more out of life. And I want that to be. And so I hope you'll contact us. I'd love to work with you. This is what I do best. Regardless, I hope you've enjoyed this class on project management, taking your business model, fixing it, and moving forward so that you can make this year your best year ever. I'm Allyson Lewis with the 7-Minute Life, and I am excited that you've joined us today. Stay tuned. We'll have lots more free training.